All right, thank you everybody for hanging around. Hopefully that video gave you a little preview of what's to come. For anyone who wasn't paying attention, that was $3 billion in fragrance sales. Just to get the blood flowing, make sure everyone's awake. Just by show of hands, who saw something in that video that you did not know about Paris Hilton? It better be a lot of hands. Okay, good. All right, well, we'll hopefully have a little fun to end the day here, but let's start with that, Paris. I think, you know, a lot of people have been underestimating you for a long time, probably going all the way back to the Simple Life days and think of you as a ditzy blonde or celebutante or whatever adjective you may, but you've been working incredibly hard since then. So give us, you know, just a overview of what you've been up to the last 10 years or so.
Well, thank you so much. And first of all, I want to say I'm so honored and proud to be here today with so many incredible businessmen and women in the room. So thank you all for having me. And I first started my brand off when I was a little girl. I was always going into my mother's boudoir and she collected perfumes. And I said to my mom one day I'm going to have my own Paris Hilton perfume. And to be sitting here today now and have just released my 25th fragrance is just a dream come true.
Yeah, congrats. And your most recent fragrance, Electrify, actually won Best Beauty Product at the Women's Wear Daily Show.
Yes,
congrats on that.
Thank you.
And you're the CEO of Paris Hilton Entertainment. I'm sure some people are like, what does that mean exactly?
Well, I'm the CEO of my company, and I not only have 25 fragrances, but I also have 19 other product lines. So I make everything from purses, clothing, shoes, lingerie, swimwear,
probably
dog clothes.
To name what you don't make.
Yeah, basically, if there is a product, I make it, and I oversee everything. And it's a lot of work, but I really I love what I do.
And those products are sold at Paris Hilton stores?
I have 50 stores we operate that are at Paris Hilton.
Yep.
But we're also online and in other retailers.
Yeah, I until we started prepping for this, I had no idea that you had 50 stores around the world. That's amazing.
Thank you.
So, you know, you're the CEO of now a billion-dollar company by day, yet by night or maybe sometimes by day, you go to some of the biggest music festivals in the world. How do you balance those two?
I really love to optimize my time. So I'm traveling on a plane over 250 days a year. So anytime I'm traveling around the world, I don't just want to do one thing. I want to make the most of my time and optimize my time. So I basically will pack in a week or more of work into 2 days. So anything from appearances, photo shoots, interviews, meetings, looking at different real estate properties I'm doing, also charity work. And then at night, I get to perform at whatever is the best, you know, music festival or club or whatever's happening in that city and entertain my fans at night because I love music, I love to entertain, and I've also turned that into a very lucrative business.
For sure. I mean, for any of us who think we travel a lot, 250 days is next level. Oh. So word around the campfire is that you've been paid $1 million as an appearance fee. And that you're top grossing female DJ in the world, true or false?
Well, my mother always taught me never to discuss money or politics, so I won't go into that, but.
Your mom and my mom would like each other, but you know, just give me a wink or don't say anything if that's true.
No.
All right, so you know you've grown the Paris Hilton brand from a fragrance brand to a global lifestyle brand. I think that's actually kind of in your DNA. So tell us a little bit about the Hilton Legacy and especially your grandfather, who I know is really important to you.
He's always been my mentor, and I feel so blessed to have such incredible mentors in my grandfather, my great-grandfather, and the legacy they have built. And you know, coming from the Hilton name, it's always been such a huge, just something that I've always wanted, like a lot to live up to. And also I wanted to make my family proud. And the fact that they never spoiled us, they really instilled that work ethic in us and our whole family. And that's been passed on from my grandfather to my father and now to myself, my sister, my brothers. And I'm very grateful that, because I feel that I wouldn't be the woman I am today if it wasn't for them and just them really encouraging me. And I just think it's something just that runs in my blood.
Yeah, so your family's always been in real estate, and now you're going into real estate as well?
Yes, I have my 2 Paris properties that are in the Philippines, and now we are expanding and going to be doing boutique hotels, spas, clubs all around the world. So I'm very excited to be following in my family's footsteps and just releasing my own real estate projects.
Yeah, amazing. So we're both entrepreneurs. You started with fragrances. I started with eco-friendly booze. So we have some stuff in common, maybe not. But you know, we've now kind of transitioned to starting a firm called M13, where we have a consumer tech focused venture capital fund as well as a brand studio. So our whole goal is to harness those learnings and try and do them at scale and help other budding entrepreneurs really have a founder's first approach. You have an incredible amount of wisdom from what you've done. How do you go about trying to think about sharing that with other people, and what do you usually say to them?
I think it's really about loving what you do, having a passion for it, and following your dreams. Ever since I was a little girl, I had such dreams in life, and I always wanted to strive to be the best I could be, and I love being in this business where I can be an inspiration to others, young women and men who want to build a brand and be in this business. And it's all about having hard work ethic as well. It comes down to it, but it's an exciting time.
Yeah, no, from what I've seen being around you, you really do love what you do. So let's rewind it a little bit, because we have to talk about kind of the roots. And so let's talk about Simple Life. Yeah. How did that get started? What happened in the early days of that, and how did it take off from there?
Well, this was when I first started out in the industry, and I got a call from Fox, and they said, we want to do this reality show called The Simple Life, and you're basically going to be a fish out of water, going somewhere. We're not going to tell you where.
And how old were you at the time?
This was when I was 21.
21. Wow.
Yes, which I still am.
Of course,
yeah. So when I first got approached with this was the first of its kind. So they asked my sister and I to do it, and my sister said, there is no way I'm doing a reality show, you're crazy. My parents said, do not do this.
And just to frame it for people, really, by a lot of accounts, that was the first reality show, right? So
yes.
It's not like you had seen a bunch of reality shows, knew what they do, knew what you'd expect. You were really, this was kind of the frontier of being on reality TV.
Yeah, it's the OG sitting up here. I didn't know what I was getting myself into, but I'm so happy that I did do that show, because when I did it and I saw the numbers and just how successful it was, and continuing it on for 5 seasons.
Did you ever think it would be on for 5 seasons?
No, I just thought, okay, my best friend and I, Nicole Richie, are going to go, and we're just going to be doing this show and getting paid a lot of money. It was like one of our first jobs. And then I just saw what it was, and I was like, I could actually use this platform to build a brand. And that's when I thought to do my first fragrance, which was my first of the 19 product lines. So from there, it's just been just a whole journey.
Yeah, I love it. A lot of people here talk about product as a platform. Yours is truly a little different spin on. You actually took your platform and created products off it, which is truly amazing.
Thank you.
When was what gave you the idea for the first product? How long was it between Simple Life ending and saying, okay, I can use this platform to do something else with it?
Just right away, just with the show, I knew right away. And then all of a sudden I was getting approached by different companies, different brands, getting flown out to Tokyo and opening 200 stores and being on billboards everywhere. And it literally put me on the map, where I knew, on this show, I was just playing this kind of dumb, blonde, spoiled brat who didn't know what Walmart is. I know what Walmart is, by the way.
And I love Walmart. Pumped your own gas,
I don't know if anyone
right?
from Walmart is in here, but I knew what it was. But I was trying to be entertaining on the show. So that's, I would say certain things. I knew exactly what I was doing. It was all very planned and calculated.
Yeah. Okay, I have a couple headlines. I don't want to spoil it later, but you kind of talked about creating these products. Just give us a sense how involved you are in actually developing new products, whether it's the fragrances or something else that goes into a Paris Hilton store.
I'm involved 100% of the way. I will not put my name on anything. I need to be involved from everything, from what the campaign's going to be, what the name is, the design, the marketing, the promotion, just from every step. Like at this point in my life, I wish I had like 5 clones because then I could actually get through everything I have to do. But it's a lot of work, but it's so rewarding. But there's a lot that goes into it.
Sure. So you talk a lot about your fans. Could you talk about, a little bit how they inspire you, or how you have even drawn some of your inspiration in creating products from them?
My fans, I consider them like my little brothers and sisters. They call themselves the Little Hiltons. And the relationship we have is so amazing, where I've actually had some of them come stayed at my house before. Anywhere I go around the world, I always make sure if they're there, or I'll fly them in just to spend time with me. It gets a little lonely just always traveling and being by myself. So it's nice to have people around me that love me for me and have no bad intentions. It's just all about like true love, and that's unconditional love that it's really hard to describe. And I love that I now, with social media, can stay in contact with them, get advice from them, and really go to them, because with everything we do, it really matters like what your consumer is and who is basically your market. And thank God, like I'm just like family with my fans. Yeah, no,
I mean, I think you're truly one of the first celebrities to, use that to build products and actually turn it into, multi-billion-dollar empire. I don't think I realized it, except for when I first moved to LA. When you walked into a club, everyone just stopped and looked. And so, LA Times originally said you are the original influencer. And if I think if you actually think about it, it's interesting to think what there was before that. But it's been this nice virtuous cycle, as you said, with your fans, because they've done incredible things to support you, and then you've involved them in business decisions you've made, things you've DJ'd at. So you've really, harnessed that power of social media. I'm going to read a couple things here. You were, you've always been a trendsetter. You're credited with starting a lot of firsts. The first cell phone selfie, first influencers, as I said. And we would be remiss if we didn't bring up Kim Kardashian. She said, and I'll quote her directly, "I'll do anything for her. She literally gave me my career, and I totally acknowledged it." So what I think is amazing is you've managed to put yourself out there, build great content, help others like Kim. How do you do that well, protecting your brand, protecting even just your personal privacy, yet you're so involved and engaged with your fans?
Well, I love Kim, and we've known each other since we're little girls, and I'm so proud of what her and her family has accomplished. Mm-hmm. And I love being an inspiration to people, and it makes me feel very proud to just have created this whole new, I don't know if it's called celebrity genre or blueprint, but starting out in this business, it was such a new thing, and it's exciting. I love being a pioneer and just paving the way, and it makes me feel very proud. And
it's crazy. It's
a lot of fun.
I don't even.
It's a lot to think about. Sorry, I'm very nervous up here. I'm a little shy. I'm used to being like Tomorrowland or Ibiza, performing on stage with thousands of people singing and dancing, and everyone's very serious here, which I get it.
Very fair, yes. Hard to. Before social media even existed, mm-hmm. you were probably arguably one of the most photographed people in the world, and we're all human. And I've spent some time with your family. They're incredible people. Like, as that was all starting, even pre-Simple Life, like what was the advice your mom or your family gave you?
The one piece of advice I always listened to from my mom was the night before the Simple Life aired. And she said, "Paris, when this airs on Fox tomorrow, your entire life is going to change. And I always want you to remain the same sweet, down-to-earth Paris that you are, and never let this get to your head." And that's something that always stuck with me. I always felt I listened to that advice. I never let anything get to my head. And I think that's so important, because I've been in this industry a very long time, and I've seen so many people come in and they just turn into someone else and they forget where they came from. And I always think it's important to always we're all human, it doesn't matter what you do. I think it's just so important to stay true to yourself. And I'm very lucky that I have such a supportive and amazing family. And yeah, thank you, Mom. I know you'll probably be watching this later.
How do you decide, what you kind of share though and what you keep private? Because it must be hard to kind of know where to draw the line.
Well, as just going through so much in life and growing up and realizing so much about myself, I think, as we were talking about Simple Life, I was playing this character for so long, so I feel that the public and everybody assumed that I was, this spoiled, blonde kind of girl. I don't know how to describe it, but in real life I was always so different. And I think because I'm a naturally very shy person, that it was almost like a mask to hide behind. Mm-hmm. And now that I finally, even with the past year, I have my new film coming out in the next few months called This Is Paris, and it's a documentary where it's really dig deep into everything. And I've really trusted the director, Alexandra Dean. She's incredible, and we just had this sisterly bond where I really trusted her, and she asked me questions that no one's asked me before, and I've really found myself almost during this film. So now I really value my privacy of my personal life. So of course, for business and being a brand, I love to share, my products, my brands, and all the exciting adventures and the trips I go on and my music and everything I do. But I feel like it's time that I really keep my personal life private because it's something that's very precious and special to me.
Sure. I think you said something really, really valuable, especially people in the room who are venture capitalists can agree. The answers you get are a function of the questions you ask. So I think for a long time you've probably been asked the same questions that are not interesting or not fair, and now you're going to get, you're getting a chance to kind of answer more interesting questions and put out who you really are. I love this headline from a Forbes article: "Ditzy blonde no more. Paris Hilton reinvents herself as a serious entrepreneur and crushes it." And that was all the way back in 2014. Mm-hmm. So I think it's been a long time since people really knew. So they do think they know you. What is something that people don't know about you?
Well, first of all, from the Forbes article, I didn't get this far being a dumb blonde, just pretending to be.
We're all being played.
Yeah, basically. I tricked you all. But things that people don't know about me, I think people are so used to seeing me as this party princess on red carpets and the pink and the sparkles and the chihuahua and talking in the baby voice, saying that's hot, and just this like I feel a lot of people maybe in the room are hearing this is actually my real voice. It's actually very low, and I've kind of had the helium voice for a very long time before that. Cause
I dig it. We both have the sexy raspy thing.
But no, I have this sexy low voice, which I'm very proud of now. So this is my real voice, and that's one part. And I think a lot of people don't know I'm actually a huge undercover tech geek. I'm obsessed with anything to do with technology, gadgets, I'm like Inspector Gadget, killing it. And I'm also a huge tomboy. I was on my ice hockey team in high school, which no one will probably believe me, but if you Google it, you will see me. It's not photoshopped, it's actually me there. I skydive, I love to go fishing, surfing. I don't know. I actually enjoy doing more outdoorsy things, but I think obviously the media is not there when that's happening, so they mostly just see everything else, all the glitz and glam, but that's not really my vibe.
Very
I'm more low-key, like making lasagna and Yellowstone together.
True.
Yes.
Let's talk about women for a second. Obviously women are incredible entrepreneurs, and
yes.
Those of us in this room, I think, are keenly aware of it. We're all doing more to make sure we, back female entrepreneurs. I'm very proud to say that at our Fund M13 so far, 40% of our portfolio companies are female-led or co-founded. Which entrepreneurs really inspire you, and why?
for so long, I've always looked up to Oprah and Martha Stewart. I think they're just brilliant women, and I love what they've done with their brands. And someone, since I'm a little girl, I always have loved and admired is Princess Diana. She was so beautiful, so strong, and the fact that she would use her name to do such amazing things for people is just something that I just admire and respect so much.
Yeah.
And I think it's such an exciting time right now. It's 2020, and I've never...
New decade.
It's a new decade, yeah. And it's just so exciting to see so many female leaders and CEOs and women running companies, and I just feel like it's such a time where women are really coming together as like the sister tribe. And there's a lot of boys in here too, but I think you guys know that women rule the world.
Yes, for sure.
Without us, there would be, no kids and things like that. But we're also doing big things and really exciting things, and I think it's an incredible time to be a woman right now, and especially with technology, and even someone who is a stay-at-home mom could make a huge business, a brand, or even a Fortune 500 company from the comfort of their home just because of technology, where we don't have to deal with anything because it's basically with your phone, with all the technology, all these platforms, you could build a business from your home.
Yeah.
And it's an exciting time for everyone right now.
I agree. It's a very exciting time to be a woman. Even with the name Courtney, I've gotten some ancillary benefits.
Yes.
Making sure everyone's awake at the end of the day here. All right. I'm glad you brought up Princess Diana, though, because she always exuded certain qualities, and as we've gotten to know each other better, if someone who didn't see this came up to me on the street and said, "What's Paris Hilton like?" I would actually say the first two adjectives that come to mind are grace and humility. And I'll be honest, I wouldn't have ever thought those would be the first two adjectives, but I've seen I've seen those come to fruition in real life. I have never been around someone who gets asked to take more pictures and have people come up to him and say just ridiculous things. And even what little I'm around you, I'm annoyed, yet you never say no to anyone for a picture. You always let someone kind of, say whatever they want to say to you. It's just amazing to me. And especially with just the Hilton DNA in your family, you don't even have to do any of this, right? So what is it that kind of helps you to have that grace and humility, and what makes you want to do it?
I love the feeling of just seeing someone smile, like a genuine, like happy smile, and making people feel like they're the only person in the room, making everyone feel special. No matter how tired I am, if I'm jet lagged, if I'm in a bad mood, I've never said no to a photo, selfie, anything people ask from me, because it means a lot to someone. And I've seen a lot of people, especially in this industry, where they have their bodyguards pushing people away and they're being mean and hurting someone's feelings. And I could never be that way. And even when I am sometimes, I'm on a job, and in some places there could be a lot of guards with me. If they're rude to someone, it gets me very upset, and I'll be upset, and I'll say, please, these are my fans, be nice, like be cool, I don't mind. They're like, well, Paris, they're grabbing you, they're doing this. I'm like, I don't care. These are my people, and I want everyone to feel special. And I think that's why I've been in this industry for so long, is because I have a kind heart, and I genuinely love it. Mm-hmm. And I think I just love making someone's day. And I don't know, I just feel like there's a reason that God put me here. And I think one of the reasons is to really just bring love and light, happiness and excitement. I don't know, just a lot of things. And I think it's good to be a good person.
You've touched on your grandfather, but I know you were really close to him. He recently passed away. Will you just tell me what a little bit of the things you guys talked about before that happened? Because it kind of relates to your work ethic and what you're trying to do.
Yeah, my grandfather and I were so close, and as I said before, he was such an inspiration and a mentor to me, and we would always have so many discussions. And one of the things we always talked about was, he would say, well, Paris, I used to be known as Baron Hilton, but now I'm known as Paris Hilton's grandfather. And we would laugh about it. And then he said to me, you know, Paris, I'm so incredibly proud of you. You work harder and travel more than any CEO I know. And I'm just so proud that you're my granddaughter. And that's something that's always stuck with me. And I think that's another thing that just gives me the drive. And especially after losing him, it's been so hard. But I know that he's up there with my grandmother in heaven, and they're looking down on me, and they're so proud. And that's why I want to continue on with their legacy and also doing my own thing. But
Can you talk about, I know you guys talked about doing more with the Hilton Foundation.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
That's another thing we talked about. My great-grandfather, Conrad Hilton, started the Conrad Hilton Foundation. They do incredible work for people all around the world, and now I am prioritizing my time to make that a big priority, especially now, 2020 and the coming years, to really be the face of it and help make a difference, and take time off from other projects I have to do that, because I think it's something that's always been instilled in me and something very important to give back. And
so there's a lot. The video that everyone saw before we came out, there was a lot of shots of you with kids. I know you do a lot with Children's Hospital of LA. You're a huge animal lover. Can you just touch on those?
Of course, I love animals. I have lots of pets, and I'm a kid at heart. I love children, and it just breaks my heart that any child should ever have to suffer. And I want to do anything I can to help or alleviate that pain or bring happiness. And that's why I always make it a huge priority. Anytime I go to any country, wherever I am, I say make time in the schedule. I want to go to a children's hospital, an orphanage, something for animals, just whatever I can to make a difference, bring happiness, raise awareness, raise funds, donate, and just basically do what I can just to help out in some way. Because we can go everywhere for work, and that's great. Mm-hmm. But doing that fulfills me more than even if I signed a huge deal for something. Yeah. Like, that's what really brings me happiness.
I like the quote, to those whom much is given, much is expected. And I think
very true.
It's like you said, you are naturally a shy person, and you remind me in some ways of one of our M13 investors, Richard Branson, who's a very shy person, yet he kind of has to put on this public persona. And in a world where everyone's having less in real life connections, you're out there doing it, which is amazing. So we have to wrap up here shortly, but just give me a sense of what you're excited about in the future and going forward, and your interest in tech, because you said you're a tech nerd.
Yes. Well, thank you. That's a huge compliment. I love Richard Branson. I've known him for many years, and I think he's just a brilliant force of nature, everything, like what he's done with his brand. And I didn't know he was shy, though, like me, but that's very interesting. He doesn't seem that way, but I guess I don't seem that way either. But I think it is important to really go out there and really be with your fans and your brand, your consumers, everything that you're involved in your business. And like myself, I think he is, we're basically a human brand. It's not a product or anything. Yes, we do have products, we have business ventures, but there is a lot more to it. And that's why I put myself out there all the time. And I have so many other exciting projects I'm very excited about. I am getting really involved in the tech space. I have my new Glam app, which is the Uber of beauty services, and then Roxy, which is the ultimate party app. And then today I just signed the papers, and I just invested in one of M13's projects called Daily Harvest, which I'm very excited to be a part of, because I think it's so important to just be involved with things that are healthy and sustainable.
Food sustainability,
and
climate.
And we have some other products, we can't say them yet, but M13, you guys know what's up. I'm very excited about your projects.
All right, they're going to give us the hook here soon, but I think people are probably going to test the selfie claim out back here after this.
Yes.
Just for old time's sake, can we get one more that's hot?
That's hot.
All right, let's give it up for Paris Hilton, everybody. Thank you.